good morning, afternoon, whatever time it might be when you're viewing this. We're going to get started here in just a second, but as always, I'm going to start by prefacing this by saying this is not legal advice. Call it whatever the fuck you want, but it's not that. It is. You should follow, or at least verify. Trust, but verify. You know what I'm saying? For me, for everybody else, don't fucking trust at all. Just verify. Yeah. So here we go. We're gonna get into some motherfucking bullshit. We're gonna start with some motherfucking shit posts, I guess. Shit post, a little shit postage. Barkley, calm down, you fucking homo. Oh, right off the bat, man, I'm trying to lose this channel too, apparently. So stand by. Sorry. God, we got this dumb motherfucker that walks around the neighborhoods all methed out, fucking singing at the top of his lungs. He's got the worst fucking voice, man. You want to be supportive of shit, but at the same time, dude, like, eat a dick, you know, eat a massive, massive dick. Whether it's 5 a.m. or fucking whatever time it is currently, I don't know, something 30. Fucking just, it's egregious.
American child reaches the 6th grade, is to do well in high school so that they can get accepted to the best possible college. The better grade in high school, they will have an opportunity. They are taught that if they get into any type of job they desire in the field of their choice, will be there waiting for them. After getting their dream job, they will be able to buy any car and house they desire, start their own family, and live the American dream. Most Americans today have an expectation of simply by obtaining a college degree. The entire purpose of elementary school is to prepare students for high school for college. In fact, the U.S. now has hundreds of private college preparatory high schools that, at a cost of $25,000 per year, are supposed to increase students' chances of getting into a top-tier college. Students are taught to believe that if they don't go to college, they will be on a path to nowhere and will have no chance of ever building a successful career. Government regulations like No Child Left Behind have left grade and high schools in shambles. Instead of teachers having the freedom to think outside the box and use creative techniques to prepare their students for the real world, they are forced to be narrow-minded and teach with worthless information that will never help their students have successful careers. Today, there are no high schools left in America that teach students the knowledge necessary to start their own business, invent their own product, or even how to use the internet and other free resources to become educated about things without attending college. The annual cost to attend the average private...
Boy, that is no shit. They've got it to where they don't even teach cursive anymore. And the reason for this, I would speculate, is that your kids will probably be unable to read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Unum Sanctum, the Magna Carta, the Treaty of Ghent. These are important documents. They're all written in cursive. Who'd have thunk? I mean, we don't have anybody to blame but ourselves here, man. You pay somebody else to give us unsound advice, push people away due to fear. You know, the ones that have good advice. We don't read or listen to anything. We don't research the info that's been shared with us. We don't cite the shit that we have researched when we're making assertions. We make excuses for why we can't personally join in the fight ourselves, man. You can. You're just a pussy. You know what I mean? Come to terms with it, because it's the truth. There are good-hearted people in the world who will give you sources versus attitude when you're asking for evidence of what they claim, you know, there are people I don't mind paying for their time. I don't personally feel that anyone else should be doing that. Like if somebody has to sell you their fucking resources, their process or whatever, it's probably because their process doesn't work. Why else would they need Federal Reserve notes? There are people making money flow while misdirecting motherfuckers, though. The Anna-Fleurs, the fucking Anna von Scamma von Rights people. You know, hate to say it, but Derek, fucking, you know, people that are charging for it. You got guys like Brandon Joe Williams. Network King would fucking assassinate me for saying this, but that dude gives everything away. He sat there and fucking rolled through all of the UCC3 for free, you know, extensively and comprehensively, just so that other people would know. But I mean, who wants to fight this shit alone? It's no fun. What I'm saying is a lot of these men do these fucking things for money. And this is because they have no fucking honor. I do this shit for honor because I don't care about the fucking money. And while I do have and always will have the one, they do have and probably always will have the other. They don't commingle. Know what side you're on. That's all I'm saying.
Four-year college in America today is $27,293, up 29% from 5 years ago during the 2005-2006 school year, when the annual tuition cost $21,235. This does not include the cost of textbooks, which have tripled over the past decade. Now, each that has no reason, the textbook publishers are even colluding with college bookstores to make colleges are getting kickbacks from publishers in order to destroy the used textbook market, which by itself is proof enough that college.
All right, that is running like absolute garbage. So I'm going to move over to this.
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, wait, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison, coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know, and it doesn't.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because you like me.
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices. Make the unpopular decisions. And become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change.
This is kind of part of being a man. It's like, you kind of got to fuck it all up a little bit.
I think so.
I think part of learning is dying. I think part of learning is you got to die a little bit. Because what is learning? Learning is me giving up on my old shit, my old ideas. Those ideas have to die for me to be open to some new shit. And so me learning how to be a better man, I had to die a little bit.
And when you kill shit inside of you, man, there's a fucking hole. And you don't know what to put in there. And
right.
You just got to find the right food.
Right.
You got to find the right food.
All right.
Do you have a jurisdictional argument you want to make?
Well, I served notice.
Sir,
on
it's a yes or no. Do you have a jurisdictional argument you'd like to make today?
I have a
Yes or
multiple
no?
Why are you forcing me to say answer?
Because I'm running the courtroom and it's the way I want to do it. Do you have a jurisdictional argument you'd like to make today?
I do, yes.
Then make it. What's your jurisdictional argument?
I'm presenting myself. So I need to know, Article 6 of the Constitution grants me the right to know what jurisdiction is this court operating up under?
State of Michigan.
No, what jurisdiction?
State of Michigan.
Okay, what jurisdiction is the state of
District
Michigan?
courts are legislative courts. That means they're created by statute. The state of Michigan gives me my jurisdiction.
So, okay, is that
I work
criminal
under the authority
or-
of the state of Michigan.
What is it, under what jurisdiction? There's two different jurisdictions under the Constitution. You have admiralty and common law. So I'll need to know.
This is not admiralty.
What is
And
it?
it's not common law.
Which
It's
one?
statutory.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, however, the very innovations that are making possible dramatic improvements in human well-being are also creating new problems which raise the specter of an alarming and possibly catastrophic disaster to the biosphere we live in. And herein lies the dilemma that we all face. Let me illustrate. Improved public health has caused the world's infant mortality rate to decline by 60% over the last 40 years. In the same period, the world's average life expectancy has increased from 46 years in 1950s to 63 years today. This is a development which, as individuals, we can only applaud. However, the result of these positive measures is a world population that has risen during the same short period of time geometrically to almost 6 billion people and could easily exceed 8 billion by the year 2020. The negative impact of population growth on all of our planetary ecosystems is becoming appallingly evident. The rapid growing exploitation of the world's supply of energy and water is a matter of deep concern, and the toxic byproducts of widespread industrialization have increased atmospheric pollution to dangerous levels. Unless nations will agree to work together to tackle these cross-border challenges posed by population growth, overconsumption of resources, and environmental degradation, the prospects for a decent life on our planet will be threatened. The recent UN meeting in Cairo is appropriately focused on one of these key issues, population growth. But the controversies which have erupted at the conference illustrate the problem of coming to grips with issues that are deeply divisive and which have a profound moral dimension. The United Nations can and should play an essential role in helping the world find a satisfactory way of stabilizing world population and stimulating economic development in a manner that is sensitive to religious and moral considerations. Economic growth is, of course, an inevitable corollary of a growing population and is essential to improve standards of living. But without careful coordination, unrestrained economic growth poses further threats to our environment. This was a major subject of discussion at the conference in Rio de Janeiro on the environment 2 years ago. The focus then was on sustainable growth and global development. It was pointed out at the conference that growth is most efficiently managed by the private sector, but regulation of the process by national governments and international bodies is also needed. And once again, the United Nations should certainly be among the catalysts and coordinators of this process.
Among the catalysts. That is an interesting way to phrase that, or frame that, I suppose, rather. I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit happening. Everybody's aware of it. The whole birth certificate scam and the 13th and 14th Amendment have got everybody fucking really on the back pedal. Just what's going on with credit cards, the so-called lending and the mortgages in this country is fucking absurd. And that's what I'll be doing today. I'm going to call the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's ombudsman, and I am going to rip him a new fucking asshole. I'm going to put this one in. I'm going to put this one in, and I'm going to see if I can clap. As I let this dude know that the reputation and trustworthiness of his organization is about to go fucking low as Sarah's pussy lips, you know, because she's short as fuck. What's up? In here, out there? Don't matter to me. Oh, fuck these guys. They can hear whatever. What's up? You want to kick? You can. I can come out there. Here, will you take the tray? I'll just meet you out there. I will be right there. About to go smoke some not illegal substances with my roommate, who also doesn't do illegal shit, because we're law-abiding citizens. We are citizens, man. We're persons. You know what I mean? Absolutely. U.S. citizens. I don't really have anything to run to fucking distract. Fucking to bear with. Doing this with your time. Show. Watch out. So I think I might actually get into the Fiduciary Act as well today. It's a very underrated and overlooked fucking aspect of, you know, American, I guess, Western law as far as this country goes. That is. So without further ado, we're going to fucking hit qualified immunity and misconduct, judicial misconduct.
The major complaint about defense attorneys is that they do not communicate regularly with clients. Let's take a look at defense attorney misconduct. Complaints received by bar associations generally involve clients who believe that they're not getting what they paid for. One of the most cited reasons for false convictions, in addition to eyewitness testimony, is ineffective assistance of counsel. Other behaviors reported of lawyers in capital and other cases include the following: the use of heroin and cocaine during trial, letting the defendant wear the same clothes, admitting that they didn't know the law or the facts, not being able to name a death penalty case, and drinking heavily each day of the trial. Cases identified by the Innocence Project include many examples of criminal defense attorneys not bringing forward evidence. When prosecutors forget that their mission is to protect a due process, not merely win a case, misconduct can occur. The types of misconduct range from minor lapses of ethical rules to commissions of criminal acts. Most prosecutor misconduct involves unethical or illegal means to obtain a conviction. Experts discuss 4 types of prosecutorial misconduct: withholding exculpatory evidence, misusing pretrial publicity, using false evidence in court, and using preemptory challenges to exclude jurors. Rules forbid an attorney from knowingly allowing false evidence to be admitted. Misconduct also occurs when prosecutors intentionally use scientific evidence that they know to be false. Prosecutors might also bolster a witness's credentials or allow him or her to make unsupported claims on the witness stand. Judicial canons require judges to avoid even the appearance of bias or impropriety. There is a prohibition on attorneys and judges discussing a case outside the presence of the other attorney. This is called ex parte communication and is prohibited because it gives one side preference over the other. The expectation that judges maintain an unbiased position towards any issue that might come before him or her. Various forms of judicial misconduct include the following: failing to inform defendants of their rights, coercing guilty pleas, exceeding sentencing authority, and exceeding bail authority. Further, denying full and fair hearings or trials, abusing the criminal contempt power, ignoring probable cause requirements, denying defendants' rights, and penalizing defendants for exercising their rights. We must be careful not to paint with too broad of a brush. Only a few judges are involved in the most egregious examples of unethical behavior. Most judges are ethical and take great care to live up to the obligations of their role. The factors that seem to be correlated with wrongful convictions clearly indicate that legal professionals must take responsibility for reducing the possibility of such gross miscarriages of justice. It should be recognized that while sometimes prosecutors are implicated as pivotal in wrongful convictions, in other cases, prosecutors have been pivotal in helping free someone. When wrongful convictions were compared with cases where a factually innocent defendant was indicted, but the prosecution was dropped or didn't resolve the conviction, research has found that these factors influence the likelihood of wrongful conviction. State punitiveness, a weak case, error in forensic testimony, age and prior criminal history of the defendant, honest mistaken identity by an eyewitness, and poor representation by a defense attorney. Other factors include perjury by informants, police and prosecutorial misconduct, false confessions, junk science, ineffective assistance of counsel, and so on. Mistaken eyewitness testimony is the most frequently identified factor in wrongful convictions. False confessions are another important factor in wrongful convictions. A study of 250 exonerees found that 70% were minorities. Confirmatory bias is when someone ignores evidence that is contrary to what they believe. Confirmatory bias may lead to wrongful convictions because prosecutors ignore evidence that tends to refute their theory of the case. Individuals may be affected by confirmatory bias in that they can truly not see the exculpatory nature of evidence because they believe so strongly that a defendant is guilty. The reality is that the law is administered by humans, and human beings have failings and errors and misconduct that can result in innocent people being convicted, incarcerated, and sometimes executed. In response to questions about why prosecutors commit various forms of misconduct, one commentator explained, because they can. We can discuss several psychological processes that contribute to misconduct, including the presence of confirmatory bias, selective information processing, belief preservation, and avoidance of cognitive dissonance. Intentional prosecutorial misconduct can include reconstructing conduct as morally justified, obscuring personal agency, and blaming or dehumanizing defendants. The immunity of judges insulates them from the effects of their decisions, although their decisions are public and can create storms of controversy. State judicial commissions rarely sanction judges, and voters tend to be oblivious of the reputation of judges. A range of potential responses to prosecutorial misconduct have been offered or implemented. Many of these have weaknesses that prevent their effectiveness. To enforce rules of ethics, the American Bar Association, or the ABA, has a standing committee on ethical responsibility to offer formal and informal options or opinions when charges of impropriety have been made. Disciplinary committees investigate a practicing attorney only when a complaint is lodged against him or her. One of the most common complaints against attorneys is that they allow deadlines to pass or miss court dates. It seems that prosecutors may be even less likely to be the target of bar discipline committees than criminal defense attorneys. Misconduct in the courtroom is sometimes morally sanctioned by trial judges, where prosecutors are rarely directly mentioned in appellate holdings, even when case decisions are overturned. Some have argued that the evidence of prosecutorial misconduct supports rethinking prosecutorial immunity and perhaps employing criminal sanctions against prosecutors. There is some argument that prosecutors do not get sufficient training on Brady obligations that then lead some of the Brady violations that appear in wrongful convictions. Prosecutors' associations advocate enhanced training on Brady obligations to reduce violations. While the number of Innocent Project affiliates is growing and groups have been successful in identifying cases and prevailing in court, they can't be the only solution to the problem of false convictions. DNA has been the vehicle by which many innocent prisoners have obtained their release from prison. Because of the pro-prosecution bias that is said to exist in state or local police crime labs, there have been calls for private labs to test evidence. Procedures can also ensure that obtaining confession occurs in a manner designed to minimize the potential for false convictions. There is new attention to and interest in addressing the weaknesses of the justice system to reduce the number of wrongfully convicted people. The way to reduce misconduct includes 5 approaches. First, instituting an open file pretrial discovery. Second, abandoning the harmless error test. Third, identifying errant prosecutors by name. Fourth, stripping prosecutors of full immunity. And fifth, investigations of misconduct by prosecutors. Ethical misconduct by prosecutors is expensive and threatens the very legitimacy of our legal system. Just because there's an allegation in an appeal that prosecutors engaged in misconduct does not make it so. Individuals on the side of defending the wrongfully convicted may be subject to confirmation bias as well and have their own ethical blinders on. Far from being static, the implementation of law reflects political realities, in direct contrast to the ideal of judicial independence that is the cornerstone of our system of government. If the judiciary is not independent of political powers, this calls into question the very existence of the checks and balances upon which this country's government is constructed. The system of federal prosecutors and the federal law enforcement agencies, which include the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as well as many others, is also supposed to be removed from political influence. If the justice system, including prosecutors and judges, is a pawn or an agent of political power, due process is a sham, and the very essence of democracy is threatened. The importance of due process is that even criminals and enemies of the state are given due process rights that protect them from errors and deprivation of life, liberty, and property. The U.S. Supreme Court, as the ultimate authority of the law in this country, decides constitutionality, and these interpretations are far from neutral, despite the myth of objective decision-making. Our law derives from the Constitution. 2 basic philosophies regarding how to apply constitutional principles are at work in the legal arena. The first group might be so-called strict constitutionalists, because they argue that the Constitution should be implemented as written, and any changes are to take place in terms of rights, responsibilities, or liberties. The changes should take place through the political system or Congress. Activists have a looser reading of the Constitution and read into the rights that framers might have recognized or should have recognized because of evolving standards. They argue that the Constitution is meant to be a living document and that the language of the framers was intentionally written as an accommodating interpretation based on changing times and circumstances.
But somebody's going to turn about to hop into this and fucking kind of get to discussing what the meat of this meat and potatoes. My roommate and esteemed colleague in research and fucking endeavors that you people probably don't have the sack or spine to fucking attempt, is with me today, RD, from the lovely and sunny state of fucking Kansas. We're going to be talking about the CFPB, the Consumer Protection Act, Ombudsman and their role in oversight committees and regulatory committees, and how to properly rat somebody out when you're an adult. As a kid, it's always frowned upon. Oh man, you tattled on me. You tattled on me. And as an adult, it's oh dude, you brown noser. You fucking told the boss that I took a 10-minute smoke break. No, dude, this is all we can do as adults. We can notice, we can order, and we can demand. You know, you as a fucking American and as an adult, you have an obligation. You have a fucking obligation to, when making an observation, to report that shit. You make a report and then you turn that shit in. If you don't, then you're complicit. You are a part of the fucking problem. Simple as. So that said, I'm going to pull up the screen here and we're going to get into the Consumer Protection Act and the role of the CFPB. I've got it on my phone, and I guess I could just read right off that, but share screen seems to be the thing that non-boomers do, and so I'm going to do that. Watch me get fucking 10 minutes into this and everything start going awry, so to speak. We shall see. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gents and ladies. Let's get it going. So, as you can see on our lovely AI friend here has told us that the Consumer Protection Act laws that protect consumers from dangerous goods and services, defective products, and fraudulent business practices. I guess they help to keep sellers honest and maintain a reliable market economy. No, the free market is choice, and that is what's reliable, is that the market will always speak, the market will always decide, and these assholes will always fucking have an end. There will always be an end to motherfuckers that can't do their jobs. It's always going to be that way. In the United States, the Consumer Protection Act laws are made up of various federal and state laws, each governing a specific area of the economy. Here in Kansas, we have the Kansas Consumer Protections Act. We have the federal Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Truth in Lending Act, and Real Estate Settlements Procedures Act, Troubled Asset Relief Program. Things like this are for mortgage. And then there are the slightly variant CFR with the Code of Federal Regulation, giving us the grounds and the body of the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, Equal Opportunity Credit Act, or whatever. Just one of those two. So yeah, definitely take it from me. I don't know the names of the shit that I'm talking about. So the FTC oversees the consumer protection at a federal level, and the states use a variety of agencies and statuses or statutes to enforce consumer protection and sometimes expand on the laws. That is something that here in Kansas, we have the home field doctrine, where if the municipality does not agree with the county, then the county can go fuck itself. If the municipality doesn't agree with the state, then the state can go fuck itself. Or the county, if they don't agree with the state can go fuck itself. Home rule. We do the home rule here, man. So, Kansas is a good state. We've got a concealed and open carry, it's a right to work state, which everybody thinks is employer heavy, like leans towards the employer, but that's just because they don't read. And like anyone that will ever tell you that the laws need to change, they're fucking morons who have no idea what are in any of them. So let's get down to it. Some examples of Consumer Protection Acts include the FCRA, that's the Fair Credit Reporting. This is where they make sure that they don't report to the agencies things that they can't fucking report. And this is a lot of stuff you would be surprised. They're not allowed to talk about the amount of your credit that you're using. That dog's drinking out of the toilet. That's so gross. Hey. Yeah, no, it's all right. It's yeah. I used to have to stick my hands in that shit all the time when I was a plumber. Baby girl, God, she's so dumb. The Consumer Guarantees Act is something that gives the consumers the right to seek remedies such as a replacement or repair from the manufacturer, even if the product doesn't come with the manufacturer's warranty. These laws, especially Title 15 USC subsections 1601 through 1693, are very, very, very intentionally structured to protect us, the consumers, the natural person, not the constitutional 13th Amendment person that is a slave, but the actual fucking man. You know what I'm saying? The man or the woman, Michael Talbert, as it would be in this motherfucking instance. I'm protected by Congress. Congress has decided that they don't want me to have to endure abuse, and this includes my information being shared when it's private, non-public information. This includes harassing or intimidating language in communications. This includes the use of symbols, glassine windows on envelopes that are bills. There are a lot of things in play here that most people don't know about. If your utility company sends you an envelope once a month with your quote unquote statement in it, with a glassine window, see-through window on the envelope, and that's $1,000 violation. All you have to do is take that shit to your local small claims court and smack them with the shit. You nod, notice, order, demand. I've noticed the company that they fucked up. They've got 30 days if it's been notarized and sworn to under the pains and penalties of perjury. This notice of harm, this intent to sue, opportunity to cure, is part of I want to say USC 3. I think. I'm pretty sure it's in the same area as satisfaction in court, I believe. But I mean, look it up for yourself. After that, you order them with a notice of non-response. Hey, I'm telling you, you better respond to this. You've harmed me, and make me whole or be sued. If that doesn't receive some sort of response within 14 days, then you send them a notice of default and a certificate of default and dishonor. With the notary presentment, you have essentially circumvented the court entirely. That notary public is a state-sanctioned and fucking empowered officer of the court and a deputy secretary of state. Any notary, whether they work at your public library or some fucking accountant's office, or it's your mother-in-law, has more authority than any fucking judge ever will, just like the jurors do. One single juror has more authority than any fucking judge. One juror that decides not to go along with the majority vote is one juror that just stops somebody from fucking being sentenced for something they don't believe that they were guilty of. Maybe perhaps guilty of the charge, but not the crime. You know, this would be a jury nullification. Another thing they don't let us talk about. And on and on and on. There's a lot of shit going on here, but it's important that we take a moment to pause and enjoy this brief non or anti-motivational message from the one and only Shia LaHouf. Take it away, Shia.
Don't do it! Just don't do it! Let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just don't do it! Don't make your dreams come true! Just don't do it! Some people dream success, while you're gonna wake up and let your dreams be dreams. Nothing is possible! You should get to the point where anyone else should do it, and you're gonna stop there! No, what are you waiting for? Just don't do it! Yes, you can! Let your dreams be dreams. Just don't do it! Don't do it! If you're tired of starting, just give up.
Just give up.
I need you to be honest with me. Oh, I am being honest with you, dude. This is gonna go a lot easier if you're honest. And I will. Yeah, dude. Yeah. What are you on right now?
Cloud 9 lit. Cloud 9?
No, what are you on right now?
One?
You gotta be honest.
I'm on one, dude. You know,
Stop fucking around. What are you on right now, man?
TikTok, what? Instagram, all of it. I'm on all of it.
I'm not talking about your ass. Drugs.
Oh, sure, if you got some. Yeah, I'm down. You got a party? Yeah, buddy.
Step out of the car.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You're kind, too kind. So where were we at? All right, I was complaining about shit. I'm pretty avid at that, man. You know, I've got that shit under control. So
got your shit on lock.
Got that shit on lock, my ninja. My ninja. All right, so I am going to run something for a little while here, and hopefully it will occupy you guys as a headspace long enough for me to get super duper stoned, and then I'm going to go attack a senior like head of an incorporated agency that holds sway over what ought to be a position occupied by an actual governing body, but is not, because, well, this country and everything about it is fake as fuck. Everything you know is a lie. And that is why I'm here, to try and pull some of you assholes out of the fire. I don't, if I can't do it, I can't do it, I suppose, but we're going to try. Everything I got on here is racist. I can't play nothing racist, man. Nothing racist. Michael, nothing. Oh, it says, this one says not for YouTube. I should definitely hear. What about the one that's is entitled RH Negative? It's probably not going to fly, huh?
Probably not.
Well, it might. It might. What up, Rockabilly? Old rocker. Old rock lobster. That motherfucker's crazy. I got a house full of badass dogs. We are short one badass dog because a former roommate is dumb as fuck and got her little puppy ripped apart by some fucking other dog. It probably has owners that are also shitty. People suck. On that note, if I had some duct tape, I would show you my new pickup line. I don't, so we're gonna go with this instead, I guess. Maybe, I don't fucking know. God damn. Yay. Not without LMNO, you don't. Waka, waka, waka. Get down, dude, get down. So what do I make these assholes watch, you know? I don't want to put my videos or suck, and then they're all, you know, so much propaganda.
What was that 30-minute comic book thing you sent me?
Oh, dude, about the most villainous fucking dude, and oh yeah, good God, man, oh good God. We'll start with this because this is really sexist. And
you 1,000% believe in.
All conspiracies led me to the conclusion that Satan literally runs this world. And I was not into religion for the first 27 years of my life. I thought it was dumb.
That was dumb? You ever met a fucking female?
I thought it was dumb. I thought it was just brainwashing
True
bullshit.
story, but I'm gonna have to ask you again,
man. Did you not have a mother or sisters?
I realized it tells you a lot of what's going on in front of your face. And it's kind of terrifying that you can be that blind.
Yeah, tell me, man. You're telling me about it, man.
And it's that obvious, and that so many people are so anti-religion because...
Say, look here, my man. You just want to fucking get it over with? I'm kind of digging you.
The religious organizations themselves have completely fucked up the information and just everything's been twisted because that's how Satan
I'm gonna take this fabulous opportunity to point out the extreme similarity between the fucking spellings of Satan and Sarah.
There are principalities and evil forces that literally run the
shit, Sarah would never run.
Baby, her mouth.
Hold up, man. This don't make no sense because I've never had the devil lick my asshole before. Unless they are the same person, then fuck.
The world and
fuck.
The world and
fuck.
The world and
fuck.
The world, and that's why it's shitty. It's not because everyone's stupid. It's because we're all being manipulated by
members of law enforcement, the government, family court systems, and any kind of piece of shit attorney that will fucking represent a woman in a divorce with children, knowing that he can charge 4 or 5 times the amount that the men would have to pay because the man's gonna have to fuck pay that as well. But that's not the point. The conspiracy here is that
being manipulated by spirits and shit, and most of us don't even believe in them, so it's really easy for them to manipulate
that was
us.
probably in poor taste, man. Targeting undereducated women with substance.
To the
Oh
conclusion that
man,
Satan literally runs this world.
yeah. So disclaimer, dude. I didn't handle my divorce the best. You know what I mean? And so if you did, like, good for you. But holy shit, man. Mine's a tough one to top. Also bite my bag, even if it wasn't, dude. I'm allowed to react or act and respond however the fuck I want. Just like you. Just like you. Good God, I don't have any fucking thing that's small enough to throw on here. I don't know what any of this is either. I didn't label none of it, and I feel like a bunch of it's going to get me in trouble. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, fuck it.
Dick. Why do you come? Welcome. In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Getting caught. In Night City, you can become...
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Here's a great quote I found to help explain this idea. It has been said that in the Matrix control system, Saturn is the mainframe computer, powered up by our sun's photonic energy. Then Saturn sends out information which is received by our moon, acting as some kind of interface modular system. The moon in turn sends communication signals to Earth using virtual instrumentation, producing this simulated information which in turn transforms itself into a simulated reality, one that we believe to be real. The assimilation of this fake reality inside the inescapable matrix has been used as a platform for those seemingly never-ending cycles relating to reincarnation, suffering, and death that we seem to be unable to get out of. Now, in this book right here, 2 physicists prove that the moon is not actually a naturally occurring object. Again, it's a great read, and I recommend it to everyone. Again, it lends further credence to this theory, because if the moon is not a naturally occurring object, maybe it was put there for the very reason that we've been discussing as part of this Saturn-Moon setup.
Control and output. Classically, the control element is the human being himself. But in the digital computer, control is achieved electronically, in strict conformity with instructions provided the machine.
Or something creates a type of energy or information, which basically gets translated like this. A computer with an almost endless amount of possibilities, which we can then go in and access the physical world, clicking a program. But it all goes back to the original code and how it's all filtered down through God. And there might be random elements thrown in there like a game to keep things interesting, is to try to hack the code, entering our direct connection between us and...
We can see that it's dark around Saturn, that there's space, and it's the center of the Earth. And we got this little guy. See this? That's this thing right here. And what's inside this thing? This thing We've seen that before. So here's the cube, the kind you put off when you're all pissed off. That type of shit. They need it. They need it. Remember old Saturn had to come down? He needed that ball, and it got him high. He needed it. It's the exchange between this planet of Saturn and the Earth. Even if we're just an atom, it's still an exchange between this atom and what we are. So if you want to go full-blown planet to planet or atom to atom, that's what's happening here. And this here's your yellow brick road. You see it? There it goes right there. But it's interesting. And then we look over here. You see the guys in here? Here's the guys in the Crystal Palace. Isn't that neat? Here's the men that work down under. Gee whiz, isn't that a nifty-looking roof? Amazing that this is inside of this. And this is inside of this. And this sends shit back and forth. We collect it and we send it back there. How about that? We got our own UPS system going. Here's your man down under. Here they are. Isn't that neat? Makes for a great bedtime story.
One of the oldest soul trapping games, the oldest soul trapping game around, is to get a soul to react. Your mama dresses you funny. You know, they will bait you. You're stupid. You're weak. You're a pussy. This type of thing. They will get and be able to this. The half-truth is what traps us. So the oldest soul trapping on Earth. To be angry and against something. If you're against something, you're wanting to fight the war on drugs, the war on poverty, the war on cancer, the war on war. You want to war or be against something. You are feeding your energy against something. When people feed energy against each other, they create friction, literally fighting. That creates a lot of heat, a lot of energy that dissipates, that drains both sides, the divided and conquered game. So one of the oldest soul-trapping games on Earth is to get you so angry, or so reactive, or so traumatized that you become a crusader against these fountains. Eternal energy are being drained off of us. There are some beings that steal energy from other beings. And ultimately, it's just a game. Oldest soul-trapping game. I'm going to repeat it a bunch of times because this is one of the main ways that we've been divided and conquered and shut down and drained of energy. Satan is bored. The devils are bored. The ego, Lucifer, is bored. It's so easy to conquer humans.
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you.
Fashion don'ts for 200.
No way.
Rowie? Man on the moon. Yeah. TV channels for 1,000, please, Alex.
And I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk. Fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as had been revived. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Vicious bite. A vicious bite. Vicious bite. Vicious bite. That snake gave her a vicious bite. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. All these vibrations, I like the splints on it. Before you took me in. Oh, shut up!
The tendency is to push it as far as you can. There is nothing in the world more helpless and irresponsible and depraved. And I knew we'd get...
Drugs killed 160 American GIs last year. 40 of them in Vietnam. Drugs were
Beneath the skin, we are already one. Was it not your sin trapped the unicorn? Even now, the evil seed of what you've done germinates within you.
No! Wait! We can't stop here. This is...
serve in this world and yours. The god of flesh, hunger, and desire. My god. Leviathan, lord of the labyrinth.
All right. So we are at the debt validation letter, right? As you can see, this letter can really be used to validate, to request validation for any debt. It can be anywhere from student loans, collections, child support, right? All right. Validation of debt request pursuant to 15 USC 1692G. So 15 USC 1692 is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Section G is where it speaks about validation of debt, right? So let's get into it. Be advised, this is not a refusal to pay, but a notice sent pursuant to Fair Debt Collection Practices Act 15 USC 1692G stating your claim is disputed and validation is requested. All right. This is not a request for verification. Now, there's a difference between validation and verification. We want validation of this debt or proof of my mailing address, but a request for validation made pursuant the above named title and section. I respectfully request your offices to provide me competent evidence that I have any legal obligation to pay you. So anybody from collections or whatever, student loans, sending you notices that you owe them, okay, provide me with the documentation or evidence that I have any legal obligation to pay you, because anybody can say you owe them, right? It's your duty to ask for the validation of the debt. And when you don't ask for validation of the debt, they can assume the debt is valid for you not responding, and then they can go ahead and do what they do, right? So at this time, I will also inform you that if your offices have reported invalidated information to any of the 3 major credit bureaus, as you can see here, this action may constitute fraud under both federal and state law. True, because before any information goes on your credit report, the information needs to be validated first, right? Due to this fact, in any negative mark is found on my consumer reports by your company or the company you represent, I will not hesitate in bringing legal action against and your client. This should be against you. Let's just put that in there, against you and your client for the following violation. Violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, because anything that goes on your credit report deals with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act because they did not validate the debt as the law says, pursuant 15 USC 1692G. And then you go for defamation of character. There's so much you can go into, all right? But like, this isn't legal advice. You want to seek a competent FTC attorney and get that sorted out, all right? If your offices are able to provide the proper documentation as requested in the following declaration, I will require at least 30 days to investigate this information, during which time all collection activity shall cease and desist. So this is also a validation with a cease and desist built into it, all right? Also, during this validation period, if any action is taken, which could be considered detrimental to any of my credit reports, meaning they put something on there and causes, let's say, the rating to drop, the credit score to fall, that is also a violation. That is also something you can go after as well. I will consult with my legal counsel, which you should get yourself an FTC lawyer. They work based on results. So don't worry about paying them up front. They get paid when the results come in, all right? Counsel for suit. This includes any listing of information to a credit reporting repository or agent. Let's agency. Let's put agency A-G-E-N-C-Y. Let's put agency up. A-G-E-N-C-Y. Agency that could be inaccurate or invalidated, meaning so they didn't validate the information. No one did. They just threw it on your consumer report and there was no validation of this information done. If your office failed to respond to this validation request within 30 days from the date of your receipt, all references to this account must be deleted and completely removed from my credit file, and a copy of such deletion request shall be sent to me immediately. Now, the same, oh, I spelled agency wrong. Oh, let's see what's going on. There we go. The same way they can assume that that is valid after 30 days when you don't respond, you can do the same thing. There's no law that says you cannot do this. So if they don't respond in 30 days with the information requested, you can assume now that that is invalid, right? So it's important that you understand that when you're sending letters to these student loan collection agencies or other agencies regarding the validation for debt, it is sent via certified mail green return receipt, because the green return receipt has the date time group stamped on it or written on it when they receive the correspondence or the mail, and then you want to go 30 days from when they received it, and if they have not responded within that time, you can then invoke what you put in your letters and hold them to it. All right, sincerely your name, and then you can go on and say the following. So you can just use this part up here, or you could go further and add the following information. The following information is required. Please fill out the form below in its entirety, right? And because you want to know who they're collected from, who the name of the alleged debtor, who is this alleged debtor, the alleged account number, like you can see, you go through it, and when they respond, you want to hold them to this paperwork, because now you are saying, listen, if you don't respond to all my requests, your claim is invalid. So you want to definitely invoke and enforce this portion. If you're going to use this portion in the letter, you definitely want to invoke and really hold them accountable for returning this information to you. If they don't return the information to you, you can use this now saying, boom, listen, y'all didn't respond and y'all didn't fill out what I asked for, and this invalidates your claim. You do not have no claim to collect this debt, or you did not provide legal, well, not legal, but you did not provide sufficient paperwork to say that I am obligated to pay you, basically. All right. So spend some time going through this. Also go through the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and you will understand that this is not an overnight thing. It's really something for you to just learn and be good as you go. Iron sharpens iron. So the more you study, the better you're going to become. All right.
Let me get into utilization letter. So this letter is geared towards deleting your utilization, right? So your address, your name, this goes directly to the creditor. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Notice to agent is notice to principal. So in this, you can do a situation where you find the registered agent and you send a notice to the registered agent. So you can send it to the registered agent, or you can send it directly to the company, to whom it may concern. I recently received a copy of my Experience TransUnion and Equifax consumer report, and I noticed that it is reporting my experience with your company. So experience, this is with your company. The line of credit I have with your company, which is characterized as your company's is you have utilization on my consumer reports. So you're going to list the accounts and the high utilization. So list name of accounts with high utilization along with their account numbers, right? Your company is in clear violation of the law, pursuant to 15 U.S.C. 1681 A2 A1. Exclusion, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include. A, subject to subsection 1681 S3 of this title, any report containing information solely as to transaction or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report, right? So the law clearly states transactions or experiences between the consumer, which is me, and the person, you can put their name here, making the report is not included. So right here, I'm going to have not is not included on my consumer report. Utilization extended between the consumer, me, and the person, you. So like I said, put the creditor name there. That is making the report. Congress clearly, the person, the consumers, you have violated the FCRA 15 U.S.C. 1681 A21 A2I by reporting this transaction or experience, which is the utilization, on my consumer reports, which Congress clearly states is not included in my consumer report. You have 10 calendar days to update my utilization to 5% or below, and or delete all utilization from the below accounts. So now you want to list the accounts right here that either have the late payments or high utilization, accounts with late payments or high utilization. But more than likely, we'll go with accounts with high utilization.
Failure to respond satisfactorily with deletion of the above utilization will result in legal action being taken against your company, for which I will also be seeking $1,000 per violation. Right, and then we got defamation of character, negligent non-compliance, civil liability, mental anguish, fair credit reporting of violations, and we'll just list that. And then you want to enclose now a copy of your ID or driver's license or utility bill showing proof of address. And that, my friends, is your utilization letter. You can add or subtract to it to suit your situation, but this is just a guide for you to be in the right place, know what needs to be in there, and to get your utilizations taken care of. All right. So we've had another successful letter. Let's go. Go get to study. Go get studying. It's important. Go study. All right. So see you next time.
Man, it's good to be me and not you. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on how awesome it is to not be you. I don't have your problems, and I'm fucking grateful for it. I don't know what brought you here to this fucking corner of the internet, this asshole, polyp on the asshole of the internet that is my channel. But welcome to the fucking awesome ass Bleak Narratives channel. I'm gonna fucking go ahead and kill this because it looks like an error has occurred with my uploading shit. So I know that this is probably not even streaming. I'm not gonna bother checking it. I will just fucking call the ombudsman later and stream that. Stay tuned for episode 2, brought to you in part by drugs and unemployment. And as always, I am your host, Bleak Narratives today. Tomorrow I will be history. Go your good way, brothers and sisters.